Hello, and welcome back to another edition of the show. It is time for your culture update, and I am your girl, Vanna J. And this show is being brought to you by the Culture Creators. So, shout out to the Culture Creators. Make sure you are subscribed and you like the content, and make sure you drop us some comments below. And we've got another great show for you today. By the way, if you missed last week's episodes, make sure you check them out. We did a part 1 and a part 2 about the Julius Jones case. And man, those were some really great shows. So if you haven't checked those out, make sure you get to check those out in your free time. But I want to also say that I want to keep everyone up to date with the Julius Jones case as it continues on. So I'll be doing that throughout the culture update for you all to keep you up to date what's happening with him as well. But for now, we have another show for you, and it is time for what I like to get into at first, which is usually some world news. So let's talk about what's been going on lately. Last week, there was I don't even know what you really describe this as, a school shooting. It kind of wasn't, it kind of wasn't. Really, a shooting happened at a school, but it wasn't like a mass school shooter in a lot of normal cases. But this young man that you see here on your screen has been accused at this point of being the student who pulled out a gun and shot during an altercation that broke out in Texas at a high school earlier this week. Now, this boy, which I'm going to call him a boy because I believe he's only 18 years old, he has been released now on bond since this case has happened, $75,000 bond to be exact. And his family has since put out a statement. And I'm just going to kind of read you bits and pieces of that. So according to reports, he's been charged with 3 counts of assault with a deadly weapon. And shortly before his release, his family did speak out in front of media. They said he was scared, quote, he was afraid. There is a video that's all out on social media that shows he was being attacked. It wasn't just one person that would attack him and bully him and taking his money, harassing him due to the fact that he had more things than maybe others, end quote. So that is kind of the excuse that the family is getting, saying that there is a bullying issue. I'm not trying to be insensitive to this situation, although I will say it's kind of crazy to think he lives and goes to school in what looks like a pretty affluent area. And so for me, it's kind of hard to believe like he was bullied up. Like instead of bullied down, like you're poor, you don't have anything, you're dirt, whatever, he was bullied up, like bullied because he has things is what the family's trying to explain, which I see that could be the case, I guess, but I don't feel like that's a valid excuse for him pulling out a gun, taking a gun to school, etc. Anywho, they continue on to say, however, they don't justify the shooting. They said, quote, we have to take a look at the fact that bullying is real, which is true, and it takes us all. And I do apologize. We ask as a family for forgiveness for any type of hurt, end quote. So that was the statement put out by the family. Once again, this happened at Timberview High School in Arlington, Texas. It's just an unfortunate situation. Let's see if there's any update. Of the 4 people injured, 2 were shot, 3 were hospitalized. Thankfully, all 3 of those individuals hospitalized are expected to survive. So it doesn't really say the extent of the injuries. 1 male student who was in the intensive care unit is now out of surgery. So there you have it. I'm not sure. I mean, obviously, he's out on bond at this point, so I'm not sure what will continue to happen for this case. The classes at Timberview High School were temporarily canceled due to this situation on Tuesday. But yeah, we're just gonna have to continue to watch the story, and it just what I'm curious to see, and I want to know what you guys think about this. I'm curious to see what kind of time or what kind of sentence he does receive for this. And I want to compare that to some of the more mass school shootings, like the crazy white boys that have gone in and just shot up everybody for no reason. I want to see how his sentence, where it was an actual incident that occurred between, it looks like a group of people or a small, party of people, made a wrong decision, took a gun. So, and people were hurt, people were shot. That's not good. So I'm just curious to see what happens when this situation occurs versus someone who just took a gun, didn't care, went to school purposely to shoot mass amount of people, as many people as they could, and then take their own life or whatever. So I'm curious to see how those two situations compare to each other. But what do you think about this entire situation? Please hit me up in the comments and let me know. One of the thoughts I had behind this whole school shooting situation in Texas was that that's the reason why schools have metal detectors and such tough security. And I think that that's key. I've always thought whenever I was younger, like, oh my gosh, it's so brazen to have, to have metal detectors out of high school, but not whenever you have situations like this. So drop your comments in the comment section. Let me know what you think. It's just an unfortunate situation, such a young man, and just so unfortunate. So let me know what you think about that and hit me up. In the meantime, we're going to scroll on over to the entertainment news because I have a lot to get to you guys for you guys for entertainment. We're going to start off with Dave Chappelle. Now, child, Dave Chappelle, Dave Chappelle, Dave Chappelle. He has done it once again. The internet has gone nuts. He is once again in the crossfire of it all for his latest Netflix special. I mean, what can you really say? Let's just put this out here. First and foremost, Dave Chappelle is a true comical genius. He is a true, I would say, literal genius in his field of expertise. I'll put it that way. But there's now even more mounting pressure than there was before to remove his latest special called The Closer from streaming Netflix platform. And this is an outcry of several public groups who claim that, of course, he has transphobic remarks, which is not the first time that we've heard issues about either transphobic or homophobic remarks from Dave Chappelle. So now, in light of this new Netflix stand-up special, the National Black Justice Coalition, they are a high-profile organization. They're asking Netflix to now pull the special off of the platform. So I'm not going to read the entire story as they have written. I'm just going to explain it to you in the only way that I know best. I think I can understand people getting offended. And I can see both sides of the situation. However, I will say that I felt like if you sat and listened and paid attention and took it with open ears and open mind and paid attention to what the stories and what he was trying to explain to you, then you can get the gist of Dave Chappelle's comments and his stories that he was telling in the special. However, if you look at it with an offensive ear, it may come off that way. Now, in speaking on the other side of that pancake, I will also say that I read an article that talked about Dave Chappelle and where he went wrong in giving I guess it was about a transgender and telling that story. And I felt like this article brought a good point, in which basically said that he needs to basically be careful when he is looking at transgender people or LGBT community people versus Black people, because they're often two in the same community, meaning as far back as you have even Selma or things like that happened in the Black community, we still had queer and gay people in the Black community during that time. So I can see where they're coming from when they viewed the separation that he was trying to bring between gay people and Black people, or even just looking at the issue from a Black or white point of view. I can understand where they might have been kind of offended by that. But other than that, I think overall the special was a good special. It wasn't his best work ever. I mean, it wasn't just belly over funny like some of his other has been. However, I will say that I felt like it was even educational in some points. I mean, it brought you a broader way of thinking. So I want to know what you guys thought about Dave Chappelle's newest and I guess last of this series, of this set of stand-ups that he's going to have on Netflix. What did you think about it? Drop me some comments. I mean, he went as far as to, call out the baby, call out the situation with them. And a lot of people, he's received backlash, everyone from Harry Potter author J.K. Rowling to on and on and on, you name it. People have come out and kind of aired their grievances, so to speak, for Dave Chappelle. But I want to know what you think. Did you find his LGBTQ stories, did you feel like that was homophobic, transphobic in any way? Or did you think it was fine? Did you understand the story that he was trying to relay? Did you understand the message that he was trying to say? So drop me some comments and let me know what you think, or just let me know if you thought this was some of his better work. I honestly like Sticks and Stones a lot better, in my personal opinion, but that's just me. So tell me what you think. Drop in some comments. And man, Dave Chappelle, once again, with the controversy. Never go wrong with Dave Chappelle bringing the controversy. All right, let's move on to the next story. And we got to talk about my girl, Megan Thee Stallion, once again. She's always making the news, and I feel like she's a worthy female rapper to speak on because she does a lot. Megan Thee Stallion is now joining a campaign to oppose the Texas abortion ban. And this is awesome. I'm just like, yes, Megan, thank you. So finally, we have someone speaking up for Black women that represent a demographic of the Black culture that needs not to be silent. We need the Black women, the hip hop cultured Black women, to speak up for themselves and to be able to have a voice. So let me just read you a bit about the ban and what's going on in Texas right now. They have a tussle over one of the country's most restrictive abortion bans. After the Supreme Court has allowed the ban to remain in effect, lower courts have attempted to fight it, but the U.S. District Judge Robert Pittman, he issued an order blocking the law on Wednesday. However, by that evening, Texas declared intentions to appeal. So basically what they said was, we're going to get rid of the ban. And they said, okay, now we can open up abortions for people that were past whatever it was, 6 weeks or 16 weeks. It was not that many weeks. And unfortunately, because now they're saying that they are declaring their intentions to appeal, the people that started resuming their abortions back in Texas, the clinics that did, the doctors that did, could now once again be under possible punishment, or they could get in trouble because of their declared intentions to appeal. So it's just a whole hot mess. So the intentions that they had to appeal were satisfied on Friday with the Fifth U.S. Circuit Court Appeals. They struck down Wednesday's win, and according to NPR, the ban will remain in place until October 12th. So bans against abortion in the state of Texas up to that many weeks are going to remain in place. And this is going to be basically the deadline for the Department of Justice to be able to respond to the ruling. Now, as Megan Thee Stallion comes into this picture, she is a Texas native, and she shared another photo also featuring an orange and gray colored text box, and in large letters, the text of the words wrote, "I oppose the Texas abortion ban." So she is now advocating for opposing this abortion ban. The campaign, called Bans Off Our Bodies, is reportedly the work of Planned Parenthood Federation of America, and I guess that she is now getting involved with them. So good for Megan Thee Stallion. And I'm just going to read you a quick quote that she, I think, even wrote out on her Instagram or her social media. She said, quote, "Y'all know I'm a Texas girl and we deserve better." Instagram, she wrote that on. It says, quote, "Politicians want to cut off abortion access and control our bodies, lives, and futures. I'm speaking up. Take action today. Text access to 22422, hashtag bans off our bodies." So shout out to Megan Thee Stallion for campaigning for this cause. Megan is joining the campaign via her Instagram, and it also gives shines lights on other important health related issues taking place in Texas. So once again, shout out to her. She has over 25.6 million followers, and her post has garnered more than 315,000 likes and over 3,500 comments by the time she posted it that evening. So obviously she's picking up attention on this matter. She's letting her voice be heard. And this is not the first time that we've heard this from Megan Thee Stallion. We have seen time and time again where she has advocated against the AG of Kentucky, the one that we so gratefully despise. She has done countless things when it comes to trying to advocate different things for the Black community, and now this stepping up for Black women in the state of Texas. So super shout out to Megan Thee Stallion once again doing her thing, and I'm excited to see where they go with this and what happens, because it's going to be a serious issue for women and for children and the future, honestly, to see what happens with the abortion ban case in Texas. Because once again, remember, even though it's just Texas, they're going to be doing this all over the United States once they see that Texas has done it. So moving on to our final story today, and I had to give you guys an update on the story since we talked about it in weeks past. We have found Kelly Price. She is no longer missing. If you remember, about a couple weeks ago, I gave a story about how Kelly Price had come down with COVID and she had mysteriously vanished, just come up missing, checked out of the hospital. Her family apparently didn't know where she was, couldn't find her, get in contact with her, and she was reported missing. Well, she has not only been found, but apparently she was never lost to begin with. Yeah, I was confused too, but apparently her family lost her. She didn't lose her family. According to reports, Kelly Price was never really truly missing, and now reports are saying that they don't even know who truly called her in as a missing person. They don't know who started this whole search for her. She had an emotional interview with TMZ. She said she wasn't missing, but she was recovering from COVID-19. She said, quote, at some point, they lost me. She said, quote, I woke up some days later, a couple days later, and the first thing I remember is the team of doctors standing around me asking if I knew what year it was. She said, when I asked to clarify, she said, I died. So basically, she feels like she was dead for, I guess, a certain amount of time or days. We are not clear whether or not she had been vaccinated. I'm just going to assume maybe not. It says Price first addressed her COVID diagnosis on July 29th on an Instagram post. And then from there, she was sick with COVID for 1 week. And then after 1 week at home with COVID, she decided to check herself into the hospital. She was suffering from quite a few serious symptoms. And she says that COVID pretty much caused her to die or almost die. And in the TMZ interview, Kelly Price also explained that she was suffering from long-term COVID symptoms as well, such as brain fog, exhaustion, heart racing. So all of those may have also contributed to the fact that maybe she wasn't as communicative with her family about where she was. Question mark. I don't really know. Like, how does that happen? Like, how do you be like, yeah, I'm checking out of the hospital. She obviously has a team of people around her, a team of doctors. I just don't understand how your family doesn't know where you are and you go missing. Basically, she said she needed to fully recover before she continued performing, and she felt the only way that she could really focus on her was to do that. So since then, she has come out on social media and posted saying that she's feeling better, everything's okay, she's good to go. So that's just a crazy story. I don't know how you lose like a whole ass celebrity. Question mark. I mean, I think missing persons cases intrigue me a lot of the time anyway, because I don't understand how people can go missing at all in general. Like, how does no one in the face of the earth know you, care about you, know where you are, heard from you? Like, I just feel like that's a sad thing. That's so unfortunate. So I'm glad that Kelly Price is okay. I'm glad they found her. I'm glad she wasn't really truly officially missing. But I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't do a little more investigations to figure out who claimed her as a missing person, to see if maybe some false allegations were made and that maybe they need to press some charges for wasting everyone's time. But we will see what happens there. So that's pretty much it. That's all I got for you guys today. Please drop me some comments. Feel free to let me know what you think about any of these stories. Also, if you have some stories that you would like me to talk about, you want to hear my opinion on, drop me those as well, or hit me up in my inbox and let me know. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and shout out to the culture creators, let me get it right, for bringing you once again another episode of the Culture Update. We will catch you guys next week for another update. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.